Hello friends, this is Arindam Mukhopadhyay and welcome to Ortho Implants For Life. Today we will discuss about Antegrade Femoral Nail or AFN Implants and Instruments. So let's start the video.
This is an A.F.N or Antegrade Femoral Nail. It is available in the length of 34 cm to 44 cm with 2 cm gap and available in 9 mm, 10 mm and 11 mm diameter. This is a site-specific nail. That means it is available for left and right leg. Coming to the neck of this nail, as you can see, here are 3 holes. For these 2 holes, there are 2 options. First option is 6.4 mm hip screw or proximal bolt. In case the patient does not have any fracture in the neck of the femur or the trochanter region of the femur, a 4.9 mm interlocking bolt is used. If there is no fracture in the neck region, drilling holes in the bone on that region is not advisable. That is why this interlocking bolt is used. This bolt goes in from greater trochanter to lesser trochanter. Now for this hole, we will again use a 4.9 mm interlocking bolt, but here there are 2 options available as well. We can use this hole for either static or dynamic locking of the interlocking bolt. Now coming to the distal end of this nail, there are 3 holes. The middle one is again a dynamic hole. We will again use 4.9 mm interlocking bolt. This was the first one, the second one, and this is the third one. These bolts are fixed lateral to medial, and the one in the middle, the dynamic hole, this bolt has an angle of posterior to anterior. Coming to the instrument part, to start with, we have a solid curved awl and a cannulated curved awl. Cannulated basically means it's hollow within so that you can pass a guide wire or a guide pin through it. Then we have a medullary tube. This device is called femur entry awl, CU, T-type. Commonly known as fossa finder. It already has got a guide wire inside, which you can control from this end. Next, we have a flexible proximal reamer. The diameter is 13.5 mm. As a flexible reamer, this easily bends. Next, we have a depth gauge for measurement. Here you can see there are markings with which you can take the measurement. Next, we have a measurement scale to measure the length of the guide wire that goes inside the neck of the nail. This device is called a QC handle for the reamer. You attach this end of the reamer in this QC handle, lock it in case it gets stuck while reaming so that you can pull the reamer out. This is a cannulated reamer for 6.4 mm bolt. Two pieces are provided. In case one gets stuck, you can pull it out and use the other one. Now when I say it gets stuck, generally during reaming, in the cannulated portion of the reamer, there is a lot of deposition of bone dust, blood and tissue. That in turns tighten the guide wire, and while pulling out the reamer, it drags the guide wire out too. So do this process again. A second reamer is provided. Next, two drill bits are provided. One is of 10-inch length and one is of 12-inch length. The smaller one is of 10-inch in length and the longer one is of 12-inch. The longer one is used for drilling through sleeve and the smaller one is used for freehand drilling without using sleeve. This is a 13 mm cannulated proximal reamer. See, this one is cannulated. Next, a trocar is provided. Function of trocar is to remove soft tissues and other unwanted deposition formed inside the sleeve. This is how it goes inside the sleeve. Once the soft tissues are removed, the sleeve easily gets through and touches the bone surface. Next, stainment pins are provided. Two variants are provided. One is a long one, 3, 3.5 and 4 mm. Long stainment pins are provided so that if the surgeon sees there is a fracture in the neck region and decides to hold that fracture long, stainment pins can be used for that. The 6-inch stainment pins are provided for the distal lock. Since the drilling in the distal part of the nail is done freehand, stainment pins are required to hold the nail in place. Many surgeons prefer drill bit to do this, and many prefer stainment pin. This is a guide wire holding forceps. When we are using the flexible reamer and the guide wire is inside it, this guide wire holding forceps is used to hold the guide wire so that it does not come out while taking out the reamer. SS wires are also provided. Next, 6 guide wires are provided of 2 variants, 3 plain and 3 threaded. These guide wires are used in the neck of the nail. See, this is threaded and this is plain. This is an extractor rod to do back hammering. This can also be used to remove the nail. This device is called an Allen key screwdriver. This is used to tighten the conical bolt. See, this head goes in the conical bolt. You can lock it from any angle in the conical bolt, and then you can use this to tighten the conical bolt. This is called a box spanner. This is also used to tighten or loosen the conical bolt. These are 4.5 mm screwdriver. These are used for the 4.9 mm interlocking bolt. One is longer in length and one is shorter in length. Length 250 and 150 mm respectively. The longer one is used to lock the interlocking bolt through the sleeve, and the shorter one is used for the freehand locking of the interlocking bolt. For the 6.4 mm interlocking bolt, a 5 mm cannulated screwdriver is provided. This is a Tommy bar used to lock the extractor rod. This is called a keyless chuck. This is used for pushing the guide wire for entry. This can also be used to pull out reamers in case it gets stuck. This is protection sleeve and guide sleeve. During the reaming, protection sleeve is used as a protection of soft tissues while reaming. Now these holes are guide wire holes. This is used to keep the direction of the guide wire right. It can also be used to change the direction of the guide wire. Anteriorly, posteriorly, laterally, medially, or through the center. This is an AFN jig. Now as you can see, this is the main jig and this part is the aiming arm. Now here in this aiming arm, options are provided. Here as you can see, there are two options. This one is for the 6.4 mm sleeve. And here for this hole, this can be used either as a static or dynamic hole. And for the interlocking bolt for GT to LT, greater trochantery to lesser trochantery, this hole is here. And the option for that bolt is provided here. See, it's already marked here as GT to LT. This is a conical bolt which is used for locking the nail in the jig. For the interlocking bolt, there's in the neck region of that nail. These are protection sleeves. 2 mm guide wire sleeves are also attached in this. As you pull the protection sleeve out, you can see these two other guide wire sleeves. This protect the guide wire sleeve. For 4.9 mm interlocking bolt, this is a protection sleeve used, and a 4 mm drill sleeve is also used. This is an ordinary spanner. It can be used to tighten up the conical bolts and also can be used to tighten the hammer. This is a side block for the hammer unit. This can be attached on the side of the jig and can be used for hammering the nail. In this region, there is a cannulated option. You can attach the external rod here and can use it for back hammering. This is a screw guide. It helps you give direction to the guide wire and the screws. This is a simple tissue protector. This is an extra compression device. This is a slotted hammer. As you can see here, there is a slot, mostly used to do backhammering. This is the flexible rimmer for shaft, available in the difference of 0.5 mm. This is called a radiographic scale. This is used to measure the length of the nail. These markings are visible through CM, and thus it's fairly easy to check the length of the nail. This is the length measurement, and here this is the diameter measurement. This is a solid and cannulated hand rimmer. And lastly, guide wire. One is plain, another one is olive guide wire. After the use of olive guide wire, it is exchanged with a plain guide wire for the entry of the nail.
If you have enjoyed the video, like it, share it. If you are new to our channel, subscribe it. Hit the bell icon to get the notifications for our upcoming videos. If you have any queries, comment below and we will surely reply back. If you want to know more about career prospects in orthopedic implant industry and wish to start a career in orthopedic implant industry, please click the link below in the description box and DM us to know more. Thank you and see you in our next video.